So in today's video, we're going to talk about how you can invest for the brand new 87 Max Icon Pack. So just before the video does start, a quick little ad on a trading service I offer over on Twitch for the cheapest trading guides out there for just £4, €4, all free with Amazon Prime. You'll receive daily trading and investing guides covering PlayStation, Xbox and PC with an array of methods covering all budgets. And I've been trading for over 10 years, making over 100 million in multiple different FIFAs, and now for the last 4 years I've made 10 million coins in just the first month. So before we go and talk about what fodder we're going to invest in, what is quite interesting to look at is basically how did last year's Icon Pack, what did it require requirement wise, and then how that compared to the Hero this year and last year. So last year's Hero Pack, we've gone and grabbed you right here, is right here. Last year's Hero Pack required a 81 rated, 1 inform and an 85 rated team. Well, this year's Hero Pack required a 86 rated team. So basically what they required one rating higher than last year and took away the inform. Now the reason they've done this is because this year fodder is a lot more common than it was last year. For example, an 84 this year is kind of the same price as an 83 last year. So they went for a +1 rating. So what we're going to think they're going to do is they're going to get the exact same with the Icon SBC and just go for +1 ratings here. So I would imagine we'll get an 85 rated squad and we'll get an 87 rated squad. I think that fits exactly what they did with the Heroes. Now there is something to bear in mind, and that is last year we got the Icon Pack before we got the Hero Pack. Sorry, we got the Hero Pack before the Icon Pack. This year we're getting the Icon Pack before the Hero Pack. So there might be a little bit different in terms of what they do. So what is going to potentially be required? That is going to be 85s and 87s, because again we think they're going to go higher rated. So if we go and see what is being used most commonly for this, it should be 84s and 86s if I'm not wrong. Yep, 84, 84, 86s, a few 85s in there, but nothing higher than an 86 and nothing lower than an 84. And then if we go and look at the likes of what's being used in an 87, I think it might be a little bit all over the shop. We've got 88s, 84s, 85s, and well, 88s predominantly, which is very interesting. So basically what is used, it is anything from an 84 through to an 88. Now I wouldn't recommend picking up the likes of 84s, just because 84s are so supplied that it's going to take a lot more for them to move than it is going to be an 85, an 86, an 87 and an 88. So what do I recommend buying? Well, 85s, 86s, 87s and 88s. Now if we look into what did really well last week, it would have been the higher the rating the better they did. The reason for this is last week we had a lot of 88 rated squads required, whereas again this week, because we've already got all the league player SBCs, they're not looking anywhere near as good as last week, which means if they're requiring 88 rated squads, they're not going to be completed. So the 85 to 87s are also a really nice investment, because looking at the SBCs to come this week, we don't think there's going to be many too high rated, which means it's going to be prime for our 85 to 88 rated fodder. Well, if we have a little look at how well these players did last week, they did very nicely last week, even though again they weren't too directly needed in terms of the lower rated. We saw that 85s went from the likes of 4.5k to 5.6k. We can see that the 86s went from 8k all the way up there to 11k. We can see that the 87s went from 13k all the way up there to 18k. And finally we look at 88s right now, and 88s went all the way from 20k all the way up to 27k. Now, the problem with some of these cards is they're not down at the moment. So what are we going to do? We're going to wait for them to go down. Now the best time to go and buy these cards are, I mean I can probably show you right here. Actually I can't with the 88s, I'm probably so with the lower rateds. But the best time to buy these cards is between Friday 10 PM through to Saturday 10 AM. Now if there's no good SBC on the Saturday, because again the Icon SBC is anticipated to come at earliest on the Sunday, then you're going to go, you can gamble and go and buy it 10 PM on the Saturday through to 10 AM on the Sunday. But that's a little bit riskier because you're gambling no good SBC on the Saturday and there potentially not being too much pre-buying going into the Icon SBC. So the safe buy is going to be between 10 PM on the Friday through to 10 AM on the Saturday. And another thing, so then you're going to buy your 85s, 6s, 7s and 8s then. So another thing when it comes to buying the players is, and this is mainly the case on the likes of 88, is you need to be careful with the price ranges. So we've got Bernardo Silva up right here, and you know, Bernardo Silva we think will do really well next week. But at the moment he's got a maximum price range of 27k. So let's say he went down at 25 and then went back up to 27, then went up in price. Well, the most you can make on him is about 1.5k after tax, or 1k after tax even. So what you need to do is, when you're looking at 88s, and again this is especially the case with the higher rated players, is you need to make sure there's a good price range. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load up a few 88s and we'll see if there's anything a bit better. 27.5 would not be good to go for. 27.5 would not be good to go for. 27.5 would not be good to go for. 60k. Perfect. Because when the rest of them are going to go extinct at 27.5, she's going to keep rising and rising and rising and rising. Now, we saw this happen last week with the likes of the 89s. If you remember, Rodri went extinct, then Casemiro went extinct, then Diaz went extinct. So the most you could sell these players for would have been 37 and 40k. Well, Morgan kept rising to the likes of 54. The same with ter Stegen and Maripi, something like that. So this has proven that if you do want to go and buy fodder, only buy players with good price ranges. And again, we're looking at buying 85s, 86, 87s, and 88. General rule of thumb, you want the players to be able to rise at least 30-40% more than what you bought them for. So for example, if we went and bought Morgan at 44, 60, what's that going to be, a 16k difference? I'd say that's, above 30%. She can rise 30% more than what I bought her for. I'd say that's pretty decent. And I'd say, when are you going to go and sell these players? Now, fodder normally progressively rises until it gets a resupply. That means we get SBC that makes it rise. We get another SBC, it'll rise more. We get another SBC, it rise more. But then on the Thursday, we have Division Rivals. And Division Rivals obviously gives Division Rival rewards, and it gives marquee matchups, which is a double supply, which therefore drops the likes of SBC fodder. So basically, you might say, oh, well, why wouldn't you hold till Wednesday? Well, because everyone knows that fodder drops on the Thursday. If we get nothing good on the Wednesday, we see a bit of panic selling. And then there's no guarantee to rebound. Whereas if you go and sell on Tuesday or Wednesday before 6 PM, you've got people who are going to gamble that we're going to get something good on Wednesday, which means you don't see as much panic selling Tuesday evening. And then sometimes we see a rise, Wednesday morning through to Wednesday afternoon. So you can even sell then. Just whatever you do not gamble on Wednesday after 6 PM content, unless there's something heavily leaked and you want to, play the gambling game. So that is when to buy the fodder. That is what fodder to buy. That is when to sell the fodder. But what other stuff can we do? Well, with the heroes, what we saw a good bit of panic selling with, believe it or not, heroes, with the hero SBC. So what happened, we see something like Capdevila. What happened is he kind of got a bit panic sold from the Wednesday, so that'd be the Wednesday that's just gone. He went down in price from 160, and then it was sitting around about 140, 150. Well, the SBC came out on Sunday, people didn't go and pack Capdevila, and he went from 150 all the way up there to 170, even went as high as 180 in the evening. So what we can do is we can see that there is basically a substantial enough of a rebound. Again, I don't know if these hours would do it too favourable. I mean, yeah, 150, 180, you can't even contest that. Because what happens is people don't pack the heroes that they want to, and then they go and buy the heroes that they panic sold earlier in the week. Well, so far we haven't seen any panic selling so much with the icons. It should kind of kick in the next 24 to 48 hours, in my opinion. We get someone like Crespo, and yeah, at the moment there isn't really any panic selling, but let's say you got panic sold down to 150, we'd imagine, well, when the icon SBC comes out and they don't go and pack Crespo, he'll rebound back up to 175. Again, at the moment there really hasn't been amazing panic selling. I don't know if we look at maybe someone like Suka, we might see a bit more panic selling as someone who's a little bit more plebby. But yeah, at the moment there just isn't panic selling, so if these icons are down 10-15% before the SBC comes out, even at like 3-4 PM on the Sunday, we can look at going buying these players because we can expect a nice rebound after 6 PM, just like what happened with the heroes. And again, you can then hold on to these cards till Tuesday afternoon, or you can even gamble through to Thursday, Friday. I believe that's about all she wrote. Fodder covered, heroes covered. In terms of the market rising, we might see the market rise all the way through to next Friday. I wouldn't want to gamble that. I'd want to gamble it rising until Tuesday, just because there's a new promo next week, and we normally see way more panic selling going into a new promo rather than week 2, which is what we have this week, where the market didn't actually drop until hopefully Friday, because it was week 2 of a promo, so people weren't really panic selling. Well, because we've got, I think, Foot Centurions next week, I think we'll see a little bit more panic selling. But that is about all she wrote. Thank you very much for watching today's video, and we'll see you guys tomorrow with a brand new video.